I've been a member of the ACR now for 30 years. My training director, Dr. Charles Christian, encouraged us to all join as soon as we began our fellowship. I got involved with the ACR initially on the committee level, on a subcommittee level, when I was asked by then Education Chair Lee Simon to assist in the creation of a small program that would bring medical students to careers in rheumatology. After serving on that small subcommittee of the Education Committee, I was involved in a number of other efforts in ACR Finance and ACR Governance, served as a member of several strategic organization planning committees, became a member of the Board of Governors, and ultimately became Secretary-Treasurer and then President of the organization. I'm now in retirement as a past president and still continue to participate in offering advice and counsel on a number of strategic issues. I think the most important differentiator of the ACR from other organizations is that we truly represent the interests of all rheumatologists: clinical, basic science, clinical science, translational, academic, and community. And this is very different from many other specialties where there appear to be multiple societies representing the interests of different practitioners within that specialty. The ACR has been, and I hope will always continue to remain to be, the single most important organization representing the interests of all rheumatologists. I can still remember when meetings were small enough yet large enough to be held in one ballroom. And I think that gave both a sense of intimacy as well as a sense of certainty to what was going to be presented each year. There was much more pressure on the program committee to identify those papers and those presentations that were of the major significance to rheumatology in general. And there was also more time for discussion as we were literally all in one room. The meeting now has become so multifaceted that it's impossible for any one individual to see everything. And in a way that's good because it allows you to focus on several areas of particular interest. But in a way it's also less good. I'll never say anything is bad about the ACR because it means that you don't get to see a number of things that might have otherwise stimulated you to think more about developments in our field as well as developments in your own areas of interest. Many of my close friends are individuals whom I've served with on the ACR Board of Directors or in committees. My involvement in the ACR has also heightened my involvement with my local organizations in New York and created a number of comradeships and friendships there too. And in addition, it's been particularly a privilege, having served as an officer and president of the ACR, to make a number of international friendships as well that continue to this day. Well, I think the ACR has already done a lot of things to serve the interests of a broader range of its membership. I think there have been increasing programs directed towards advocacy and representing the socioeconomic interests of the practicing physician. There have also been increasing efforts to represent the academic physician in negotiations with the NIH and other grant funding organizations. I'm not sure if there's anything different that the ACR can do except to continue to pour additional resources into these efforts that seem to be bearing fruit. One problem that we are having as a specialty is that we are an older specialty. And we have several manpower projections that suggest that in the next 10 years, we may very well find ourselves with more rheumatologists retiring or eligible for retirement than entering into clinical practice. And this at a time when more and more of the population are going to need musculoskeletal specialists. So I think in a way what the ACR needs to spend more time on is identifying and reaching out to medical students before they make their career decisions into what specialty of medicine they're going into. Because if we don't do it at that stage, if they don't decide medicine, we've lost them. And if we wait until they've decided medicine, well, then frequently we don't encounter them until they've already made their subspecialty choices. So I began my efforts with the ACR in trying to reach out to medical students to bring them into internal medicine and then by extension rheumatology. And I think what the ACR has to continue to do even now is once again reach out to medical students to encourage them to pursue careers in rheumatology.